Hi and welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining me today in a very special interview today with Tanya Williams. Tanya, hi and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Tanya, I heard about you when I interviewed Adam Atkinson from See You Later Leaner.
Yeah, that's my coach.
Yeah, and I was so intrigued by your story that I had to have you over so that we can share your journey with my audience. So, can you share a little bit about your background and what is it that you do with our audience?
Oh, I am a bikini competitor. I'm switching to figure and physique right now. And do you want to tell you how I got into fitness?
Yeah, and everything starting from you told me you were born premature,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff,
Okay.
how let's start from the beginning.
Okay. So yeah, I was born at 27 weeks. My mom had triplets. One passed away a month and 8 days later. And so me and my twin, we had to stay in the incubator for about 4 months after we were born. So until we were 5 pounds, and then we got to go home.
Okay.
And then, when I was around 13, I started having vision problems, and then I kept having retina detachments over and over, and I became legally blind. Then, 10 years later, I became completely blind. It came out of nowhere. I thought I was having problems with my contact, and this was my last semester at UT, and I told my mom, and so she took me to the doctor, and my retina had detached again. And then after another surgery or two, I developed glaucoma, and then there was no way they could restore my sight.
So why do you think that happened?
Um, a lot of scar tissue developed because I was in the incubator for so long after I was born.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. And how has that affected you? So when you got that message at the end, when they told you that, you can't do anything about it, how old were you then and how did that affect you?
I was 22 or 3, I think. It was very sad because I had to medically withdraw from college. And so while my friends had graduated, I was home alone for about 6 months because, my mom and dad worked in their offices. So I was alone most of the day. And it was very sad because I couldn't do anything. And at that time, I didn't know. I was still waiting to see if my sight would restore with these
Mm.
surgeries. And then when they didn't, I was um, informed about this rehab center in Austin called Chris Cole. So I went there for about 9 months, and they taught me how to use a cane, how to cook and live independently, and they taught me Braille, but I do not use Braille because it's very hard to pick up. So I just use books that are read to me through my computer.
Right, right. Okay. And in your day-to-day life, I mean, it's hard enough to compete in a bodybuilding competition. So how have you been able to do that with the challenges that you're going through?
Well, I have an amazing support system. My friends and my parents and my sisters will take me to the gym and help. At the time, I had a trainer, and now I don't. So now my mom or my friends, I'll tell them what weights to get, and they'll go get it for me, and then I just basically train by myself. But they help me navigate the gym, and
Yeah,
everybody at the gym will also help me.
that's wonderful.
Yes.
And I forgot to ask you earlier, you mentioned when we were emailing back and forth setting up this interview,
Mm-hmm.
you talked about cerebral palsy. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, around 3, when I started walking, my mom noticed that I walked on my tiptoes. And so she took me to the doctor, and they said I had cerebral palsy. So I wore braces on my legs from
Okay.
the age of 3 until 15.
Okay, so now you don't have to do that anymore.
No, I don't. I took Botox injections at 15, and that helped mostly. But my balance is still affected, so I just change up the different exercises that I need to do with balance.
Okay. Well, how is your cardio affected by that?
Not much. I mean, I hold on to the treadmill or I hold on to the elliptical, but I don't ever do it hands off
I
because I'll
see.
probably
Okay,
fall.
but you do do you do the same intensity, like, you know,
Yes.
incline, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff?
Yes, just holding on to the
Just holding on
machine.
to the rail instead. Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay. So, before we dive into the, you know, the fitness journey, I want to know, like, after that period where you were waiting to see if you could get surgery or not, what happened after that?
While I was waiting to see, I mean, what I would do with my grief is, I had friends would come over and take me to the movies, and I just kept my mind busy reading and writing stuff in my journal.
Okay, and then what did you do with your life? Like, what was the next major step?
Well, I went to law school for a bit, and then that's when I came back home. That's when I got into fitness.
And was that hard, going into law school? I mean, how you had to, you know, it's a lot of memorization.
Yes, it was hard. What was most challenging about law school was uh, getting all the supplements in an accessible form for me because at the time they didn't have any books or any of the studying material in audio. So I
Right,
changed that and they started putting audio supplements for people who are blind. And
right.
also, I had them put a computer with JAWS and accessible software that the blind use at the law library.
That's so cool. Okay, so from there, you said right after that experience, you decided to get into fitness, right?
Yes, my friend at the time wanted to lose weight, and I was trying to look for a job and to keep busy while looking for a job. I said, okay, well, I'll come work out with you. And I did, and I continued. And then my trainer at the time, Wendell, was like, I've been working out with you for a year. Do you have a goal to this, or are you just working out? I was like, oh, well, I texted him, I think a couple months later. I was like, I want to do a competition. And he's like, all right. So I done the NFF, and I hope to do the NPC soon.
That is so cool. Okay,
Yes, I love it.
that's so cool. Okay, so and then you got a job, or did you stick to, like, what did you do?
Right now, I watch my nephew for my twin sister, and he'll be
Mhm.
starting kindergarten. So once he starts in 3 weeks, I'll continue to look for a job, and
Okay,
hopefully, somebody
yeah.
hires me.
And how many competitions have you done so far?
I've done 3 so far since 2019.
That's amazing. What motivates you to push yourself to compete in something so
I just
difficult?
I like the challenge, and I like improving myself and constantly having to improve. That's what I like about competing in this sport.
Yeah,
You have to continually improve and get better, and especially when it comes to my legs, I feel like that is my weakness compared to my upper body. So just continually getting my legs stronger and
yeah.
pushing them beyond its capacity.
That is so inspiring. Do you feel that you're inspiring people around you who might, you know, not might come up with a million excuses for why, you know, they're not getting after it, not doing the whole fitness thing, you know? How
I hope that I'm inspiring people. I just, through this platform, I just want to help people and show them that, if you get bad circumstances, you can still achieve anything you put your mind to, and just don't let anything stop you.
100%. Have you always had this mindset, or have you had to cultivate it?
That's a good question. I think I've always had this mindset, but at the same time, I've had to cultivate it and, don't get down on myself and just continue on. It's no,
Yeah.
you can't feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You're the only one who's going to suffer when you are in that mental state.
Exactly.
How old are you now, Tanya?
I'm 35.
35. Um, so let's uh let's dive a little bit into the fitness world. so you decided that you wanted to compete really very early on after getting into fitness, after getting into, going
Yes,
to
I
the
think
gym,
about a
right?
year.
A year into that. So did you hire a coach right away? How did that
I had a trainer. I didn't have a coach. I had a trainer, and then I had a posing coach.
Okay. And how, what was the length of your first prep?
Uh, 3 months from like the end of January to the end of April, so 3 months.
3 months.
Yes,
And with the posing and walking on stage, how do you navigate that?
that was hard. Especially in heels, and especially having cerebral palsy. Like I said before, my balance is not the best, so
Right?
I constantly have to keep getting better with my heels. But my posing coach now, she told me to get square-toed heels, and that helped my balance even more.
Huh?
And she is amazing. Um, Adam has suggested I do in-person coaching, so I have a coach right now named Michelle, and she's hands-on with me and tells me everything I need to do, and she describes everything in so much detail to where I can get it right.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Um, okay, so your first competition, you did a 3 month prep
Yes.
and you competed, and then from there you decided to keep going. Why did you decide to keep going?
Like I just wanted to get better, and especially my legs to grow and get them up to part of my upper body. And
Right,
so
right.
yeah, um, after that competition, I knew I needed a coach to just help me, because I was going to do another competition the following July of 2019, but I wasn't eating enough, and I lost a little mass in my legs, so I decided not to compete. And
Right.
then I had a um, my coach gave me like exercises to do for my legs during COVID,
Yeah.
and so then I randomly found Adam on Instagram. I think I was on somebody's account. I barely just got Instagram when I competed in April, so I didn't know anything about Instagram. So I was looking at somebody's account, and I saw his name, and I just clicked on him, and I don't know what made me reach out to him, but I did, and I was like, I'm blind. When I send you check-in photos, can you help me describe what I need to improve on? And he's like, for sure, and the rest is history. He's great.
He is. He's just amazing. And it seems like he's working with every competitor that I've interviewed so far. Amazing. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about the diet and then do you do meal prep, all that kind of stuff. So let's start with whether or not you do meal preps.
Yes, my mom helps me meal prep. Right now I'm in improvement season, so I'm eating a lot of food. I think 475 carbs,
Wow.
165 protein, and 120 fat. So it's a lot
Okay.
of food, and that's my biggest challenge, is eating all that food.
Right, right. I know people generally, the vast majority of us are like the opposite. We all want to drop the fat
Yeah,
but there it is a real struggle sometimes when
it
you
really
want to put
is.
on
It
muscle.
honestly is.
Yeah, I know. Okay, and so your mom helps you with the meal prep, and do you do it like what, once a week?
I think she does it twice a week.
Okay,
Twice a week.
okay. And can you share some foods that you have on your
Oh,
plan?
I eat the same thing almost all the time. Right now I'm eating brown rice, turkey, and I switch between broccoli and asparagus.
Okay. Do you do protein shakes,
Oh yes, I do protein shakes and sometimes protein bars,
protein bars, protein shakes for
and of course
breakfast?
almonds.
Yeah. And do you do like, the typical bodybuilding breakfast is like what, oats and
Yes, 1 cup of
eggs,
oats. Yeah.
cover oats, eggs. Okay. All right. So you have all of that stuff prepped and you eat pretty much the same thing every day. Do you never get tired, bored, cravings, things like that?
No, I ate bad, or let me say unhealthy, for like 20, 28, 29 years of my life. I never ate vegetables. I always ate fried food. Um,
Right.
so one day I just wanted to start eating healthy, and I don't crave that anymore. Or ever.
Right, right. It's a habit. Yeah,
It
whatever
is.
you start eating, like the more real whole foods you start eating and the less processed, highly addictive foods you eat, your taste buds literally change. It takes 10 days for your taste buds to completely regenerate. And so in 10 days, most people very quickly adapt to whatever diet they're eating now because they've like all of those taste buds are now just only have been exposed only to this new diet. So um, let's talk about cheat meals and refeeds. Do you do cheat meals first?
I do not do cheat meals. I do refeeds.
Okay. And can you share what your refeeds look like?
Usually I'll just do Chipotle. That's my refeed. I don't really do much
Like
dessert.
a rice bowl with,
Yes.
the cheese and the either beef or beans or stuff like that.
Without cheese, I don't like cheese. So I'm a very picky eater. So
Okay.
just chicken and rice and the vegetables.
And how often do you do that refeed?
Um, probably I get 2 on track days, so probably twice a week.
Twice a week, right. And for you, really, I guess refeeds are less of an urgent thing, right? Because you're
Yes, right
already
now.
trying to eat more. It's not like you're in a caloric
No,
deficit,
right now I don't
and
have any refeeds. I just have 2 on track days.
oh, okay, I see. That where you're not tracking. The whole day you're not tracking.
No, I'm not tracking.
And so what do you eat on those days where you're not tracking?
The same thing, basically the
Oh,
same thing. I just don't track. Or every now and then I'll go to, like I said, to Chipotle and get a bowl.
right, right. Okay. Do you take any supplements?
Yeah, so I take creatine, BCAAs, boron, chasterberry, and a multivitamin.
Okay. Um, and let's talk about the exercise routine now. So, how many days a week do you lift? And whatever details you can give us.
Okay, I lift about 5 times a week, and I right now my focus is my lats. So I've been focusing on my back a lot, and I think I have 2 trainings for my back a week, and then 1 for my shoulders, and 2 for my legs and glutes. Wait.
And how long does every session last?
Typically, I like to work out for an hour and a half.
Okay, that's
That's
great.
basically.
90
And right
minutes.
now, I'm not doing any. I do about 10 minutes of cardio 3 times a week.
2 minutes of cardio, three, wait, say that again.
10 minutes of cardio 3 times a week.
10 minutes of cardio 3 times a week. Okay, so yeah, because we really don't need that much cardio for you. We're trying to build the muscle. We're not trying to
Yes.
increase caloric burn as much. Um, stretching, yoga, saunas, hot yoga, any kind of stuff like that.
None of that. I need to be better in stretching, but I really don't. I basically just lift and move.
Mobility, you know
Excuse me?
how they do mobility exercises,
Yes,
like
none of
foam.
that either. Usually
Okay,
on leg days, just to warm up my legs, I'll stretch, and
yeah,
my hamstrings are very tight, so I do
right.
stretch those every now and then.
Okay, cool. And all right, so we're done with the exercise, the lifting, the cardio. Let's talk a little bit more about, the psychology and the mindset. Because the vast majority of the work that I do with my clients is mindset work. Almost like 80 to 90% of the work that I do with my clients is trying to figure out how to have them be able to stick to the diet and the exercise because we all know that cake is not going to get us to our goals, right? And
Yes.
so sometimes we overcomplicate things a little bit and we go into all kinds of different, this diet or that diet. But at the end of the day, if we're just talking about body composition, the basics do work. It's just that it can be harder if you follow a certain diet versus another, right?
Yes.
And so the vast majority of the work that I do with my clients is mindset work. And so I'm curious to see how you have kind of been able to stay motivated and to stay consistent and to eat the same thing every day because it's hard. It's hard for people to do that. Like, what advice can you give?
The advice I would give is to just push through. My motivation really comes from I really want to achieve this, despite all the circumstances I've been given. I want to really achieve the goal. I want to, go pro one day. And I don't care how long it takes. One day I will go pro. And
That's incredible. That's incredible. Let's talk a little bit about losing your sight. And have you ever tried to look into, new technologies? Because I love diving into like the futuristic technologies and everything that's cutting edge. And I remember reading an article, I even saved it here so I could share it with you, where a blind man has had his sight partially restored with something called optogenetic therapy. So there's so many different cases like that. Have you looked into that? Do you care? Like what's your attitude?
I haven't looked into it. I mean, I care. I just, at this point, I was very fortunate to see for 22 years of my life. And if I never see again, I'm okay with that. Would I like it? Yes. But no,
Yeah.
I need to look into that.
Yeah, I'll send you the articles.
Please do.
I'll send you everything I find. I mean, every time I find things like that, I save them. I have an Evernote file and I save all that stuff. And it's just, for me, those kinds of stuff are like so inspiring, and just anything that creates inspiration, I'm addicted to that. So super
Yeah, the
cool.
last time I talked to my specialist, he said that because of my glaucoma, you can't really reverse nerve damage yet, but they are studying how to reverse the nerve damage to the optic nerve.
Very interesting. I know that Dr. David Sinclair, he's a very famous anti-aging researcher at Harvard. They were able to restore blindness in rodents. I don't know if they were rats or mice. By I think I don't know if they gave him stem cells or if they gave them an AD,
Yes.
something like that. But I think a very quick Google search can show the stuff that I'm talking about. It's very well known what he's done. And basically by reversing the age and making those rodents, reversing the aging process, the nerves regrew in the rodents and they were able to see again, which is like mind-blowing stuff. So
What year was this?
not that long ago, maybe 5 years ago or something like, because I mean I've heard about it for a while now. I'll send you all the links.
Yeah, please do. It's very interesting.
It's super cool stuff. Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the vision loss, we talked about the motivation, let me ask you, what inspires you?
That's a good question. I think what inspires me, is seeing anybody with a disability achieve what they can do. And, that just makes me want to work harder and, not to give up. And, seeing my family and my friends support my goal, that makes me want to work harder too, to achieve my goal. Bodybuilding is you got to sacrifice a lot. And it's just not me sacrificing my time. It's my mom taking me to the gym. It's my friends taking me to the gym.
Right.
My mom cooking for me and prepping my food. There's a lot of sacrifices, not just my own. So I think that's what inspires me to continue to work harder.
That's amazing. Do you have a specific person that inspires you, like a very specific someone who has disability who's been able to achieve great things?
I once read a book. I forget her name. I want to say it's Jodi Erickson. I think she became paralyzed because she dove into a pool, but I'm not completely certain. But she inspired me once I read her book when I was losing my sight.
Okay. I'm gonna look her up. Awesome. Yeah, so the diet and the exercise portion is pretty much consistent. Do you have a show lined up for you right now?
Not right now. I had to not compete this year due to finances, but I hope to save up my money and compete next year. I want to do a big show. Me and Adam were probably talking maybe the Arnold, I'm
Wow.
not sure.
Okay. That's a big one.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure, but yeah.
That would be super cool. And you're on Instagram, so do you post regularly?
I try to. I can give you my handle. It's Blind Fit Ambition, and I try
Mhm.
to post pictures of me working out and just motivate motivational captions to
Have you
keep
felt,
talking.
yeah, and have you felt that that connected you with others?
I do. One person reached out to me telling me how I inspired her, and she had lost her sight in one of her eyes, and just that she wanted to compete in the future.
Wow. Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
that's great.
that's truly, yeah. Yeah, it's so, it's hard enough for people to compete and to get fit and to stick to a diet. And then when you have an extra challenge on top of that and you still are able to accomplish that, that's like inspiration times 1,000.
So
So
rewarding. It's really
it is.
rewarding.
Yes, it is absolutely. No, for you and for people who are following your journey, for the whole world gets inspired when they hear about your story, which is why I really wanted to have you on and I really wanted to meet you.
It's been great to find bodybuilding and to reach a community that I would never have if I wouldn't have done bodybuilding or started an Instagram account.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I said, I didn't have an account when I did my first competition, but then I
mm-hmm.
realized that I could reach a lot more people using social media.
Yep. Yep. That's how I found you basically.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm so happy that you wanted to do this interview with me.
I'm so glad. Okay, Tanya, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully employed. um,
Cool.
and really, honestly, I don't know where I see myself. I just hope I reach a lot more people, and I help them, and hope my story can inspire them to, face any challenges that come to them, and just never give up. Because
Yeah.
you know I was very sad when I first lost my sight. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Um, like I said, I lost my sight right before I graduated undergrad, and I didn't know how I was going to take the LSAT. So I emailed random people that I found through, uh, different law schools, and I found their names through some disability group, and I tried to find all the people that were blind, and I emailed them, and I said, I'm blind. I just became blind. How are you doing this section of the LSAT? Because there was a section on the LSAT that's so heavily, um, that you need your vision so heavily to do. And I probably emailed maybe 50 people. I
Wow.
think 3 people got back to me and they gave me tips on what to do. And I used those tips once I took the LSAT, and that really helped. So, you
Wow.
just got to reach out and find those people, because I didn't know any blind people, especially anybody going to law school. So it was very hard for me to do. I was scared, but I still had that goal in the back of my mind. So I knew I had to find a way to achieve that goal, and just email somebody who could help me. And so that's why I want to help people too, because so many people have helped me throughout my life, and I just want
Yeah.
to give back as much as I can.
That's so amazing. And isn't that crazy that you had to email 50 people and only 3 people got back to you?
Yes, I emailed a
Yeah.
lot of people. I remember that.
Yeah. But still, 3 people, that's great.
Yes.
D- so your vision, is it 100%? Is there like a percentage that you've lost
It's gone. It's basic. I had light perception, but even that's pretty much gone now.
over time?
Yes.
Right, right. Okay. Um, all right. So let me ask you before I let you go one more thing, since you are looking for a job and there are probably going to be a lot of people who are going to watch this interview, what would be your ideal job that you would love to have?
Uh, I really like the legislature. I worked at the Capitol. My this I think what a year before I went to law school as a legislative fellow. So I like the legislative part of policy. So I like policy, public policy.
Okay, there you go. So anybody watching who can help us out, let me know, reach out, and I'll make sure Tanya gets the message. Tanya, where can people find you?
At Blind Fit Ambition on Instagram.
Wonderful. I'm going to also link that down below in the description box of this YouTube video. Is there any last minute message that you would like to leave us with?
The only thing I would say is, to keep working hard, keep grinding, and, never let any circumstances derail you from getting your goals.
Tanya, you are so inspiring. Thank you so much for coming over and sharing your journey. I am sure that you're going to inspire so many people with this interview, and I can't wait for it to go live. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us and watching this till the end. If you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell icon so YouTube alerts you every time I post a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.